Hi there today. Hopefully you can see the screen here. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold today. I was on the bus the other day and somebody behind me had a really hacking cough, and I thought, oh, that must be a smoker's cough, and then obviously it wasn't, because I've got some sort of cough. So anyway, I got these business cards printed the other day, and they're with Vistaprint, so they're quite good. I mean, Vistaprint I've seen some reviews that were not good on Vistaprint, but these are fine. Got 250 cards, quite cheap, and I need these cards and other marketing materials because I'm doing the Comic Con on the 22nd of October in Fort William. There's a lot of quite famous people coming to that as well who have been in science fiction films, so I'm doing my imaginary city work there anyway. Let's get on with this before you tune in and tune out. So this screencast vlog is all about how I upgraded some of my images. Yep. So I'm going to give you, first of all, I'm going to show you the raw image, which should be here. And I have to excuse my computer today. Everything's going wrong. There's somebody drilling in the background occasionally as well, because it's a Saturday, and I guess that's when they like to drill their walls. Here's the Ready Player One tribute artwork that I did, and I'm going to get this as a poster ready for the Comic Con as well. So this is the original raw image in Blender, the 3D program. If you want to see me looking around that image in Blender, you can look at another one of my screencasts, and I've posted that below. But this is the render. As you see, it's a really nice effect called chromatic aberration. So even in the raw render, I'm trying to get it looking kind of analog-y and not so crispy and computer graphic-y. That's what I like, and obviously I mix it with traditional drawing to make digital work. Then I like it to look analog and retro and that sort of thing. It gives more of an interesting feel than just a clean. I'm kind of fed up seeing just computer graphics, loads of computer graphics. You know, I read computer graphics in magazines. There's loads of good stuff, but even the really top Hollywood studios and the computer games and the comic stuff, the graphics are really too clean. Anyway, so this corner up here is just deleted. That's actually emitting light, so that's the system for the sunlight. I'm sorry, I'm not going to zoom in and out, because when I watch these videos back, I realize zooming in and out is kind of a bit annoying for you and me as well. So that's the raw image, and you might think, oh, that's okay, and then you can get rid of this transparency on the back, and then it looks fine. But when you compare that with the new image after post-processing, I'm sure you'll agree that it's a big improvement. And the way I did this is that I used this really good resource site called Creative Shrimp, and it's by somebody called Gleb Alexandrov, and he does a lot of work in Blender. So he has a lot of tutorials that are really technically good. So if you're an artist like me and you're doing digital work in 3D, and also if you want to post-process some photographs, you should really check out his tutorials. I've put some down on the links below. And I've even used some of those techniques for, you know, for actual real photographs. So I photographed my 3D print of my imaginary 3Z city, and then I used that technique, and it worked really well. As you see, there's stuff going on, so lots of layers here. You know, using these modes, the mode up here. I'm using GIMP here, GIMP. I'll go back to Photoshop when I want, but sometimes GIMP's good because it's free. And then, as you can see, I've added a digital element here. So this is just a little sketch I did in a Sharpie, I think I remember, on paper, and I just photographed it actually with my phone. I didn't even scan it, and then I laid it down with the transparent background onto here. So that's basically that. So I'll take you back to the comparison site. So that's the original render, and then that's the final render. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the second image now. This is what's called the Chicken Coin spacecraft, or I've recently just called it Jotun 5, or Jotun. I think in Icelandic Jotun means giant. As I scratching my nose, I'm not really sure. I did look it up, so I don't think it means anything rude or offensive. hopefully some of the people I know in Iceland might help me out on that if it does mean something bad. But according to translation, it was fine. So this is the final image of this, and this one was done in 3ds Max. The Ready Player One was done in the free program Blender. So I used both the paid for programs like 3ds Max and also Blender. I like to mix and match because, as I say, it's not the program you use, it's the technique. It's not the game engine you're gonna put stuff into. It's what you make. As long as it works okay, then I believe that it's what you make, not the technical stuff. You can spend a lifetime and a half going on really geeky forums and speaking to geeky people about, oh, this game engine has this much more FPS, let's use this, and then someone says, no, let's use this game engine, or let's use this 3D program. I'm an artist. I really actually get annoyed when people call me a techie or that kind of a geek kind of thing, because I'm not. I actually draw every day. So if you ever meet me, don't call me a geek, because I get really peed off about that. And I think you shouldn't, because I think geek is a derogatory word, even for people like scientists, because it pushes down the achievement of people make, because it means, it's like saying if you're something good, if you want to be a scientist or a mathematician or whatever, or an artist now it seems to be, or you working on digital stuff, if you're going to be really good, that means you're ultimately a geek, because we have to dumb society down. Anyway, rant over. So here's it's not really very clear today. I'm just rambling, but that's okay. I like rambling. So if you like it as well, keep watching. If you don't, tune into something else. So here's the original work. No, here's the original render. So it looks a bit plasticky, I suppose, and it's only rendered in 3ds Max. The painting is done in ZBrush. It's a good little program to do painting, and they're releasing a really light version of ZBrush. It's about $100, which I'm going to get because I really just want to use it for modeling and painting. And then that's the final image. Again, you can see there's some music coming on. This is a terrible day. My computer was breaking earlier on as well. So after a break from the screencast, I wanted to make a really professional screencast, really good, and everything goes wrong. Anyway, and I'm going to stop soon because hopefully this computer won't crash, and then I'll have to do this whole thing again. So there's the traditional element as well. So this is like an abstract sketch I did, and I like to link it in with that. Often when I'm sketching a design or concept design for the final piece, I make sketches, and then in the final piece I like to bring in the original sketches, because I draw every day, as I said. I'm not just a digital artist, I'm what I call a tradigital artist, which I actually put on my card, so people might think, ooh, what's a tradigital artist? That's really interesting. Could do, or they might just think that's just weird. Anyway, so as you can see, this is all about making images bite. So that's the final one. I've put a nice cloudscape behind it. It's quite pixelated in the background, but that's again using this post-processing tips by Gleb Alexandrov, and there's glow on it and blah blah blah. So there's the final one, which is for sale as a poster. And if you're coming to the Comic Con, I'm going to have these all as posters, and that's the original. And then I'll just click this up here, and again to look at the Blender one, that's the original raw render, and then and then that's the final render with some cool graphics over it, giving it a retro feel. So that's good. That's all good, done. And if you want to read the accompanying blog with this, check out the link below. If you enjoyed this, please make a comment and like, and also share. And if you feel like you want to buy any of these posters, either go to my online shop. I've got my new website now, and it's all integrated, or email me at info@jamesableart.com for whatever you want, and commissions as well and stuff like that. And you can also donate with Bitcoin and Patreon now. So thanks very much, and I hope to speak to you next Wednesday. And I'm actually going for 5 days camping in the Isle of Skye, because it's what date is it today? Actually, it's October. Oh God, what is the date? I think it's the October the 7th, the 8th. October the 8th. So I'm going to go camping because it's quite mild still, and I want to catch nice last few days of autumn. I was going to go to the Isle of Lewis where I was going to surf, but I think Isle of Skye, spectacular scenery, science fiction-y, lots of photographs, drawings. Look forward to it, and I'll put it on the blog, the next blog post here. So thanks very much, and bye for now.